Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hate sports games. I'm just gonna get this out here. I cannot stand these games anymore. Trying to record episode 2, I've now tried recording this episode of NBA 2K23, my NBA Nets, my NBA franchise, whatever the hell they want to call it, and I keep getting this error. I can't get through the game. It keeps crashing on me. And that's the only gameplay you're going to see in this video, is it just looping on a crash, on a fail state. I am so sick of these games. I thought about writing a script out and actually getting all my thoughts on I was going to say paper, but in a text document. I don't pay for Windows Home Office. I can't even be bothered to do that anymore. These games, I can't do just the basic function of just playing the game now. Before, my NBA has all these sorts of glitches and bugs and stuff like that everyone told me, no, my NBA is great. Whatever. Progression's garbage, trade logic garbage, all this other stuff in the mode, garbage. That everyone tells me it's the greatest mode ever. They added eras. This is so great. So not only do I have to deal with a buggy game mode just in general when it works, now it doesn't even work. Now I can't even play through the mode. But at least I cannot play through the mode with eras and era-specific filters and unfinished rosters. Absolutely amazing stuff. I really appreciate the effort you guys at Visual Concepts put into the game. Clearly, I don't know where this effort goes, because every year you release buggy, broken garbage. Non-stop. 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 This game never works until like November or December. And then the thing that I think bothers me the most about this, I could just restart the game, right? Maybe try to get through it. Maybe simcast the last like second or two of the half and then get into the third quarter. I could do that. I shouldn't have to do that. The basic function of just playing a game should work. And it doesn't. And it doesn't. Why? I have spent the past 2 days trying to record this episode. Can't do it. So I guess this will get to my larger point of just sports games just in general just sucking. These games are just fucking terrible. Sorry for swearing. I try not to swear on this channel. But I have to be honest, these games just fucking suck. They are terrible. And there's no reason for this. And the thing that makes this, I think, all the more mind-numbing to me is 2K, since this game has come out, has maybe released 4 to 5 patches. And the great thing about 2K is, sure, they get patches out quick. They don't tell us what they do. And more often than not, they break something. So they rush a patch out, break something, then they have to rush out a patch out to fix that patch that broke something, and then the newest patch to fix the patch that broke the game, they break something else, so now they have to rush out another patch, a patch to fix the patch that was supposed to fix the patch that broke the last patch. You see where I'm going here with this? I mean, Mike Wang just plays fast and loose with this game. He doesn't give a you-know-what. He doesn't seem to care. He just, I'll release a patch. Doesn't matter if I completely demolished the game. Doesn't matter if I pulverized it. Doesn't matter. I can always just release a patch. I can always go on Twitter and say, hey guys, are too many these shots going in? Or are these shots going in too much, guys? Here's a poll. What do you... This is like almost a month of frustration sort of bubbling up here. That guy needs to be fired. Needs to be gone. Sorry, Mike, you need to go. Go do something else. I don't know what. Cash out. Go somewhere else. Please. I have... That is just game development done completely wrong. That has gone to the extreme of constantly asking, hey, do you guys want this tweaked or 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 this tweaked? Do you want this tweaked? Do you want that tweaked? Is this going in too much? Is that going in too much? What should I tweak? What should I patch? What slider should I change? What should I do? What should I do? Nonstop on Twitter. That's all Mike Wang seems to do once the game comes out. He then stops around December because he's, pissed off and, time to go work on the next 2K. That's when full development of that begins. And then he'll come back around August, September, a little bit of October, starts to trail off after then of, hey guys, what do you want me to patch? What do you want me to fix? What do you want me to fine tune? And, you play 2K. Everyone's gone through this where one day you're playing 2K and it's playing well, right? It's playing fine. It's like, hey, this game feels good. Then you see that dreaded, this game has an update. And you're like, oh, okay. And you already know when you click back into that game, it's going to play completely different than it did the other day. You just know that, and you feel it when you play it. The most recent patch, before that, the game felt slow and sluggish again. And then this newest patch that seemed to have that's broken my MB, or at least it's broken it for me, it feels fine again. So there's constantly something going on with this game under the hood where they're constantly messing with the movement, they're constantly messing with the shots. 1 minute the game shoots kind of fine, and this year's, I can't even get a grasp on it because it's constantly changing. 1 minute it seems like normal shot speed, then it's fast, then it's slow, it's all over the place. My understanding, it's about, depending if someone's closer, just leave my shot timing alone. I don't get this. Just leave it alone. Why are you messing with it? So I don't understand what exactly 2K is doing. I don't know what the goal is. The goal, it isn't to make a good basketball game anymore. I don't care what anyone says. This game always gets the sort of undeserved praise that it really doesn't deserve. Even when I'm playing this game, for whatever reason, I have to cheese the game and run an offense where I can basically guarantee that I can shoot around 70%, just to kind of stay ahead of the CPU, because the CPU is shooting around 68% from the field. Hand in the face, doesn't matter. And I'm trying my hardest to avoid messing with their actual shot slider, because the minute you start messing with those sliders, you just get a situation where you're going to blow out the CPU 100 to 50 every game. So trying to find that balance in 2K now is next to impossible. So I've had all these problems with 2K the past few years. That's why I haven't posted it as much. The game plays relatively fine, so I thought I could post it. I can't. The game doesn't work. So 2K is out of the window for right now. The game doesn't work. The Battlehawks franchise, that file got corrupted, so that's gone. Every year there's a file corruption issue for like the first 2 weeks of the game. I don't know how that continues to be an issue year after year, but it is. But it is. But it is. But it is. So I thought, okay, I'll go play some Madden. I'll record some Seahawks franchise. I go to play the Cowboys game. 7 total interceptions in that game. In the entire game between me and the CPU. I threw 2. CPU threw 5. I can't make an episode out of that. Honest to God, I cannot make an episode out of a game where there's 7 interceptions thrown. I can't do it. It cannot be done. Madden is a game, I don't know what's gone on. This thing has just gotten, this thing has completely unraveled completely from where it was in August when it came out, when everyone was like, the gameplay is pretty good this year. This game plays like dog shit now. I mean, I don't know what, if they're pushing out tuner updates or whatever. This game's fucked. Sorry for swearing again. It's just completely messed up. I don't know what Clint Oldenburg... Now, if Mike Wang is the guy that tweets too much, Clint Oldenburg is the guy that tweets too little. I don't think Clint's had an actual... Now, if you don't know Clint Oldenburg, he's the gameplay director for Madden. He's the guy that you should ask on Twitter, hey, why is the game all jacked up? But I'm going to go on Clint's Twitter right now on my phone. There's my phone going off. What do you know? It's a tradition in this video. Like Madden being awful. Clint has not tweeted himself, an actual tweet from Clint, where he actually typed out tweet from his iPhone. He hasn't done that since September 4th. Almost 20 days, this pathetic coward can't even be bothered to say, hey, everyone, we hear about the issues with the offensive line. We hear about the insta sheds. We hear about all these weird interception animations that are affecting everyone. We hear about that. We're working on it. That's all this piece of garbage has to do. That's it. That's all he has to do. He can't even be bothered to do that. He can't even be bothered to come out and say, hey, we are aware of these issues. The newest franchise series that I just set up, that's over with because I got through multiple weeks of it because I did one big recording session. It's gone because it reset it all the way to the draft for some reason. It reset it all the way to the first pick of the draft. So I redid the draft over best I could. I thought, okay, let's go on. Resets it back to the draft again after I record like 4 weeks. So that's over with. That's done because I would have to do the draft again for a third time, or fourth time, or fifth time, or sixth time, or seventh time, or an eighth time, or a ninth. You get what I'm saying. So whatever the most recent patch was for Madden, I forgot when it came out, might have been about 2 weeks ago. If you start a franchise file after that time, it resets you back to the draft. Or it resets you back to certain save states. It'll delete the game and reset you back multiple weeks if it has to. So there's some sort of server issue with franchise right now. So if you're someone who really wants to play franchise, I would say start an offline file. Don't start an online file. I don't know what else to say. Right now, franchise mode is broken for new files. I believe if you made one back in August, is probably the latest I can think, you should be fine. This glitch shouldn't affect you. I haven't had it affect Seahawks franchise at all. But that's not the only issue with the game. Right? Not franchise being broken, that's like a yearly tradition with Madden. And one, that's not even Clint's job. Clint doesn't oversee franchise, so I can't even lay that at his feet. I can't even lay that at Clint's feet. He doesn't work on that. He works on gameplay, so I can talk about the gameplay issues. I can talk about just the offensive linemen just getting tossed around seemingly every other play for some reason. Every play I go to replay, there's a lineman on the ground consistently, non-stop, to the point where it's like, okay, this is a bit of a joke. Right? So, it doesn't seem to matter which lineman it is. It doesn't matter how highly rated they are. They're just thrown across the ground. Which really doesn't make sense. Right? The whole thing that they wanted to say, that they did for Madden 23 was pressure. The pocket collapsing. This isn't even the pocket collapsing. Right? This is the pocket never even getting formed. This is like someone just taking an RPG to the pocket, blowing it up. Every other play, it feels like there's an insta shed right off the line immediately. Someone's getting thrown down, whether it's the center, whether it's your right tackle or left tackle. It doesn't matter if you're playing against players with X Factor abilities or superstar abilities. It doesn't matter. Someone's on the ground. I can deal with that. You know what I mean? I can deal with that. What I can't deal with are these sort of leaping warp animations for the interceptions. I can't deal with that anymore. The first season of Seahawks franchise, I was fine with the interceptions because like I have bad quarterbacks. I was like, I got bad quarterbacks. They're inaccurate. Gonna throw interceptions. Fine. Now I'm seeing that it really doesn't matter what your quarterback's rated. You're going to throw a lot of interceptions in this game. That's just how this game is. It's whatever they've done. I don't know if it's the momentum bar. I've heard Bengal, theorize that maybe there's something with the momentum. If it's all the way on the other side, they get these warp. I don't know if it's. I've seen a few people in Operation Sports suggest that. That doesn't appear to be the issue with this. I don't think. Honest to God, I thought maybe it was something with the field sense. I don't think it's that. I think it's just whatever the. Here's how sliders work in sports games. The value, the intercept. Let's take interceptions for example, right? There's an interception value in the game already set. The slider then tells the game, add on to this value. This add +5 if you turn the slider up +5, or -5 from that value. I think they just have the value messed up. I think it might be set way too. That's what field sense is. They just went to those under the hood values and just jacked them up and called it a day. I don't think there's any field sense. I don't think there's any AI or anything like that at work here. They just jacked those values up to the point where the sliders don't actually work. So I've seen a lot of people comment on the video asking, hey, why haven't you turned down the interception slider? The slider doesn't work. You could set it to 0. You're still going to throw interceptions. It doesn't work. So that's just sort of it. It just doesn't work. So that's why that's happened. Someone's asked me, hey, why haven't you lowered the CPU tackle slider? You're getting dragged down from behind all the time. This is infuriating to watch. That slider doesn't work as well. Hey, why haven't you raised the run blocking slider? It seems like you're just getting demolished on. That doesn't work either. That slider, it doesn't work. A lot of these sliders don't work. So whatever the values that are under the hood of the game simply are set astronomically high to create this illusion of field sense. And so they probably are in a bit of panic mode. They don't know how to fix it. Either way, this would have been a very simple, just change the values under the hood. So the sliders actually can affect it. My guess is they've put their hat on field sense to the point where if they were to do that, it would probably break the entire game. So they probably will have to release some sort of patch where, and my guess is, this is just my random guess, uneducated guess, they'll have to release it where maybe when you're actually editing the sliders, it's actually like a ×2 instead of how it's currently set. Like if I raised it down 5, right now it would just, I'm telling it, hey, take 5 from the current value that's under the hood of the game. If they were to patch it the way I'm thinking they probably will, instead of it being -5, it'd be take 10 off. So it'll actually work. So that's the only thing I can think of. There's no other reason why I can think this game is as jacked up as it is. It's jacked up because of field sense. The thing that they wouldn't shut up about when they were promoting the game, about how they're more active, they react better. They just went under the hood and turned the reaction time up by like 15. They just raised it by 25. They raised interceptions by 25. They raised pass defense by 25 under the hood and called it a day. And then didn't think of how that would affect anyone else that's not like a pro player or something. One, because these values don't necessarily affect pro players as much, because we already know Madden plays very different when it's user versus user compared to user versus CPU. A lot of those CPU crazy jumping animations, a user, those sort of don't trigger for us as often. So that's why online players are, I don't want to say having a time of their life, because there's a lot of weird stuff in this game that ruin the game for offline players, or for online players. But things that ruin the game for offline players like us, they don't necessarily see, because user versus user doesn't trigger as much, because the game figures, okay, it's two users playing against each other. They don't they kind of shut those animations off for us anyways, those sort of leaping, jumping animations where they just warp from like 5 yards out and make a play on the ball. Those don't trigger as much. Another thing, I think, another one of my theories is it could have something to do with the game day planning. It's very possible that the boosts that the game day planning provides are sort of just over boosting players way too much on top of the field sense stuff. One of these things is going to have to go. Maybe it's both. I don't know. Maybe it's field sense. Maybe it's the game day planning. One of them need to go because they're sort of stacking on top of each other here. And we've sort of made a mess of this game right now. And yeah, so Clint Oldenburg should be fired. Mike Wang should be fired. And yeah, I just called for 2 people's jobs on my YouTube account. I'm sorry, man. When you're terrible at your job, you should get fired. And both of these men have just been awful. And I am now going to post a 21-minute rant about sports games. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.